person could be the tipping scale to really create a domino effect that no one ever seen coming. I would like to remind people, there's going to be a lot of people that's going to judge you and tell you you're too naive.
To the Personal Brand Accelerator Program. We're going to talk about really the who, what, when, where, how of personal branding. Personal branding in many ways is an ongoing process, right? Because you are practicing, you're developing, you're manifesting yourself over time as you grow and develop as a person within your career. Today, we're transitioning from the personal branding fundamentals to now building your personal branding foundation, right? You can't position yourself for opportunity unless you understand your motivations and what is your capacity. Now, at the very beginning, you should always be experimenting with your brand and engaging with the world, just trying to find out, okay, what experiments do you need to run to see where you need to be? There are a million different ways to make money with your personal brand, but you either got to do what is your biggest strength right now, right? Or you do where the most resources are available. A lot of people, when they're trying to monetize their personal brand, they focus on bucket 4 and 5, right? Where they're working with people to get speaking engagements, contracts. You're doing a lot of external activities to get that clout from the community to pay for certain works. A lot of times people confuse marketing and sales to be the same thing, right? This is the reason why a lot of people, they have a personal brand. Let's say they got as far as to create a free or paid product like a course or a retreat or a session. And they're putting it out there. They're quote unquote marketing it. They're promoting it, they're blasting it, but they're not monetizing, they're not making money. And part of the reason why is because they did not combine their marketing strategy with their sales strategy. But I could give you all the systems all day long, but it's up to you to turn it into a routine. And that does require checklists. It does require you really having the discipline to execute on that routine. So much has happened over the past couple of weeks. You have learned so much from start to finish. The best way I could end this is by saying that, look, like a lot of people wait their entire life to try to figure this out. You have the unique opportunity where you have this content for life, right? You have this journey for life where you are now given a blueprint to constantly keep upping your brand, keep accelerating your career, keep creating value, and also creating multiple streams of income for yourself, in addition to any of the fundamental work that you do. right. Hi, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. So, before we get started, a couple of housekeeping items just to make sure that we're ready for day 5 and the last day of the Personal Brand Live Launch Lab. First and foremost, a reminder, please have your workbooks ready. Remember our workbook that we started from the very beginning. That way, as we're discussing and workshopping through the entire content, you're ready and available to really do the work live while we're on the call. And also will help you with any questions that you have during the Q&A session for today's session. Second, I know many of you are asking questions regarding the Personal Brand Accelerator Program. We're getting a lot of questions via email, via DMs. We have the link for you to access the program on the chat. And obviously, the team will just send also the contact for our email is hello@christineandtim.com if you have any other questions regarding the program, okay? And the last, housekeeping item I want to share, many of you were so sweet. You DM'd and emailed the account and just really was wishing me good wishes because yesterday you could tell that my voice was really, really hoarse. And obviously I'm slowly getting better with getting my voice back. But one person thought that my voice went out because of the program. And one thing I will say is you have been with me for the past couple of days, and hopefully you got to know who I am and you researched and you looked into my background, and you probably will learn that I speak all the time. So no, my voice did not give out because of the program. I am very family centric. So we had a family celebration at our home with our entire family the night prior. So that's the reason why the next day my voice gave out. So, but I still have the energy. I still have the fire. So thank you for all the lovely wishes and messages. I really, really appreciate it. It was very sweet of you. And today I do have my bottle and I will definitely give my best, especially culminating on the last day. And as shared with you all before, I'm really excited about this. I really love sharing this expertise, sharing this knowledge with you, and sharing my journey of how I was able to build and monetize my brand. So I didn't want to miss it for the world to cancel or hold out on you all. So again, thank you for the warm wishes. Let us begin. Now, welcome officially back to Personal Brand Live Launch Lab, day 5. We have so much to cover. Obviously, again, as a reminder for those of you who want to continue learning and accelerating your growth and really getting on it with your personal brand and launch this year with the support of me and my team, feel free to join the program. It starts in a couple of days, actually in August. So feel free. This group is getting first access to this experience. So feel free to DM the team, email the team. The link is also in the comments. Now, let's do a little bit of recap before we dive right into today's session. So obviously, when we first kicked off with the Personal Brand Live Launch, we covered a lot every single day. So this is only snippets of what we covered over the past couple of days. So I definitely welcome you to go to the replay page to find out more in-depth information and really leverage your workbook to go over everything because it's a lot of content that we went over. But on day 1, we went over positioning. And we talked about how there's a lot of people in the world who really desperately want to be able to build and monetize their brands, but because they don't know the power of positioning and creating a value positioning statement to attract the right clients, audiences, partners, and networks, they're not able to convert as quickly as those who have learned how to do that from scratch. So I share with you that blueprint and that structure so that way you are able to do the same, right? Followed by the next day, we have session 2 where we went over, okay, once you have that value positioning statement, now you have to go to market and showcase to the world that value positioning statement so people can want to engage with you, partner with you, and reach out to you, right? And for many of you, this was probably the first time you heard different advice about how to really optimize your LinkedIn, to really optimize your SEO, optimize people being able to view your work and be able to want to work with you. And we went beyond that. Excuse me, I'm just activating that. We went beyond that to be able to also really create positioning tag words and phrases so that when people want to engage with you, they know exactly how to find you and work with you. And then we ended up that session talking about the content calendar, right? If people tune into your social media page and want to work with you, what are they going to tune into? Why would they be excited to want to work with you? And you got to validate that through your content. That's where you build your credibility. That's where you showcase your expertise and really your passion for a subject that you want to brand and put out there to the world. Then we went into session 3. Now that we know the positioning, we optimize our digital presence. Now we have to sell, right? And for a lot of you, you wonder why you're not able to monetize your brands because you haven't packaged your expertise into actual digital product. And in today's digital economy, this is probably the best eras to be able to monetize your brand in so many different ways. Right. And you could do this all organically, solo. You don't need a mega team. You don't need a mega agency. You don't need any of that. Just you being able to define your experience combined with your journey gives you a unique perspective. And what you're packaging as a digital product is your secrets, your strategies, your tactics, your tips, your blueprint, pretty much your understanding and lessons, and really your secret sauce of how you are able to do things to succeed in the position that you're in today is what you're packaging into a digital product to provide immense value to someone else. Because I shared with you that every single individual on this planet is always 2 steps ahead of somebody in this world. So what expertise do you have that's 2 steps ahead of another person who's trying to shortcut and really reach their point of success a lot faster, leveraging your materials? And then, of course, I concluded that session with sharing with you how one person can really diversify their income streams through their personal brand by doing different types of digital products and programs with their expertise. And then yesterday, we talked about the real secret sauce to launching your personal brand uniquely in 2024 and beyond is really doing an event live launch. I talked about how events really run the economy. And when you do a virtual launch of your brand and have something to offer and sell, you're able to not only convert and really position yourself amongst your entire network as an authority figure, but you're also able to convert audiences immediately to be able to purchase, become clients and consumers within your personal brand expertise. And we talked about trying to create a minimum virtual launch. And the beauty of this is that there's no upfront cost required, no team required, and obviously there's no complicated software tools needed. You could go live online next week if you wanted to do a minimum virtual launch, right? And of course, we talk about the 3 key things you need to actually launch your brand live. And that is a date, a topic, and an offer. You got these 3 things, you'll be able to attract the right audiences, build real great trust and credibility with that audience, and be able to convert them into clients by making an offer and start generating sales immediately. And many of you were asking questions about, well, how do I sustain this? How do I turn this into a business? How do I make sure that if I do a launch live the first time, that it's not going to fade away over time? We talk about having multiple touch points with your community. 7 touch points is the minimum that people need to really build trust and really engage with your brand. And in today's age, because video is king, 7 hours of video is what people need to be able to say that you are authority on the subject, and 7 fresh videos, right? So we talked about how you being able to do that really builds credibility for you to be able to convert audiences into paid clients down the road. Okay. So as we transition into today, we're culminating the entire 5-day series with a conversation about how to turn your personal brand into a legacy empire that provides wealth, flexibility, and success. Because ultimately, you don't want to just be making money. You don't want to just get clout. You want to build something of value. You want to leave a legacy, right? Where time and more, as you grow in your career, people recognize you and refer you for the brand that you want to build. So today we'll be talking about that, right? And I share with others when I talk about this session, which is a very powerful session, I always begin by sharing that the journey of building a legacy-driven personal brand really requires you experiencing different stages, right, in your career. And all of us, if we're really purposeful about really building our personal brands, all of us, and I mean, every single one of us will have this experience, these stages of development, right? And the best personal brands provide an actual value to others. My approach with personal branding is not about how you could get just featured in the media, get, multiple followers on LinkedIn or social media, right? If you notice my approach, obviously I do teach how to do that, how to get featured in media, how to get featured in press, how to get speaking engagements, but I'm very service oriented. And I focus on the fundamentals because I know if you build a personal brand based on value, everything else will start coming in. Obviously, I'm very strategic. I'm very planned. I'm very thought out. I can show you the methods, and I have shown you the methods and strategies to be able to do all of the above. But the foundation of you wanted to purposely build a personal brand of value has no comparison. It's very, very important that you care about the audiences that you serve, right? And so for many of you, personal branding is a journey of experiments. You don't know how your audience will react to certain topic points, which is why I always tell people you are evolution. You should never say that, oh, I will wait till I'm ready before I launch my personal brand. I will wait till I have a website to launch my personal brand. I will wait till I get this job before I do a personal brand. I will wait till I start a business to start a personal brand. No, you should have started your personal brand yesterday. The next best time is today, right? There's no perfect answer. It's actually even better. The sooner you launch your personal brand and officially designate it to the world, the better, because people want to be a part of that journey. People actually want to see you evolve your personal brand because it inspires others to do the same. So don't be afraid of your journey. Don't be afraid of the highs and lows and the mistakes that you will make along the way as you build your personal brand. It is truly an admirational thing for someone to see you even in your most vulnerable parts, right? So please be open to putting yourself out there as soon as possible, because best believe, whether you like it or not, you already have a reputation, right? How you send text messages beyond your social media accounts and what you put out on the internet is also how you send emails, how you send text messages, how you enter a room. You already have a reputation that other people are forming on your behalf behind your back. You might as well take control of it now and put your best foot forward and control the narrative that surrounds your personal brand. This is the reason why in the beginning, it'll be very experimental, but as you evolve and put yourself out there, you get more and more focused and chiseled with how you want to approach your personal brand messaging, right? So it will evolve to real targeted actionable value for other people. Okay. So with that said, I want to introduce you to the stages of the personal brand journey. So you could tell me where you are at in your stage, and I could show you how this evolution will emerge as you work on building a legacy, monetizing your brand across multiple different networks and communities as you grow globally over time. And these are the stages of personal branding, right? Stage 0 is really experimental, engaging with the world, simply just non-strategically. And this stage 0 to me is everyone who thinks they don't have a personal brand, but don't realize that they already have a reputation, right? So you're not really directly experimenting, but you don't realize that there's certain actions that you're taking that's already building a persona of you. And where we want to get you to, if you're at this stage, is stage 1, where you are more aware, right? Where you're seeing yourself, where you're trying to engage people to follow you strategically for the right reasons. Stage 2 is when you're able to generate interest in your brand because you're starting to create value, where people are starting to watch you and follow you and engage with you and really love you for the work that you do. I get so many amazing emails and messages every time I do these live events because people find incredible value in showing up to my lives where I'm teaching like this, right? So this is where you're in the stage of interest, where people are really seeing the value and starting to watch you in your zone of genius. Stage 3 is when you got people now wanting to work with you beyond your fundamental levels, right? This is where people are making a decision to be your client, to be your partner, to be your customer, right? People are taking decisions to work with you now further, right? In the long haul because of the value that you created. Stage 4 is when people are now not only just, becoming consumers, but people are taking action around you. People have become amplifiers. People are referring, and you're starting to really grow and validate yourself across the market where people are really starting to engage with you beyond your own networks, right? Your name is now making introductions for you before you walk into those rooms, right? And stage 5 is loyalty. At this point, this is where you see what celebrities having fans, where you have a loyal community base that will follow you everywhere you go, no matter what. And I can tell you from experience, being at stage 5, clearly you could tell that I have a community of people who are my day ones, who have supported me from the first day that I started as an entrepreneur to where I am today as a serial entrepreneur. And I will tell you, it's quite amazing to have milestones in your career where you know there's a community of people who are rooting for you, who want you to succeed because you helped others to succeed. Very beautiful thing to experience, and I hope that every single one of you on this call could get to stage 5. So comment on the chat, or comment and send me a comment and let me know what stage are you in. Are you in stage 1? Are you in stage 2, 3, 4, 5? What stage of your personal brand journey are you in right now? I would love to hear in the comments, right? And to elaborate, like I said, when you're at stage 1, this is where, again, your goal is to get people to position of clarity. Like, who are you, right? This is where we talked about the value positioning statement, where you're trying to get people to know, look, I'm here, I'm active. You start to create content and updates around the work that you're doing, trying to get a little bit more strategic and plan your content calendar. And by creating that content, people are starting to follow you. People are starting to become aware of you, right? When you get to stage 2, your goal is to convert followers and bystanders into fans, right? So I always tell people 1,000 people can see, but only 100 people need to engage with you to really start a domino effect, right? So how are you taking what activities are you doing to convert your audience into valuable consumers who want to engage with you further? So that's doing free events, free webinars, virtual office hours. Like, what value are you providing to generate interest amongst audiences, right? Obviously, I said that, at stage 3, people are going to start making a decision. Right now, people are being fans. They want to start, really promoting the work that you do and start to buy into the work that you do. And then as you go along, you start to realize that you're building a very, very loyal community, right? And as you undergo this experience, you will have to make important decisions on how you want to be remembered, right? What value will you bring to the table? And this is very, very crucial, because when you're trying to create value with your personal brand, I always tell people, like, okay, what approach are you taking to create that value? And I'm here to share with you, let's see if you pass the value test, right? And for many of you, this might be the first time that you've ever done this, but I'm gonna walk you through the value test assessment so you can see if you are on the path to building a very valuable, sustainable, and productive brand that others will want to tap into and would want to work with, okay? So that starts with a vision, right? You being able to have a system to audit your authority on autopilot, right? What content are you putting out there? And you're constantly keeping yourself fresh and up to date with the best, trends and information to support your community. What legacy efforts are you doing? Like, what are you doing to create value for others that really builds a legacy and a footprint, right? What unique offerings are you providing? Because at the end of the day, as you creating this vision and auditing your content and really creating products of value, you got to make money somehow, right? So you got to sell something. You got to sell something of value. So what unique offerings are you providing? And when you get to this stage, eventually you'll be able to scale exponentially, right? And what that looks like, my personal brand value framework starts with a vision, right? What do you want to be known for? And I always tell people, don't wait to define this. Just put yourself out there, because as you engage with people, you start to realize what you really want to be known for, right? For me in my career, I have done so much. I've done things in the fintech industry. I've done things in the tech industry, right? In the real estate industry. And I recognize that, there's certain things I don't want to be known for, right? And so I really am purposeful about what I do today. But the only reason why I know what decisions to take is because I've been putting myself out there for years, right? And experimenting with audiences, dealing with different type of customers, dealing with different type of partners. That evolution really helps you sharpen your decision-making process about your legacy and what you want to do, right? So this is where you start to really think about your vision statement and who you want to serve. And for me, I know I want to reach at least 1 billion people through my talks, my programs, and events. So I do a lot of work that even if I'm in a room with 5 people or whether I'm in a room with 10,000 people, I take both of those scenarios extremely seriously. And I'm very grateful for either of them. I'm very humble with whomever I'm in front of, because I really am passionate about giving back and creating that legacy where any type of time someone said they engage with me in any format, that they say the same message that Christine really gave it her all. That matters a lot to me, right? And so that vision is really important to me, right? For many of you, once you have that vision, then you want to become a triple A threat, right? And what that looks like is like you are constantly evaluating your journey, refreshing your expertise, sharing it to create repetition with people following you and growing with you. Because as you evolve, people appreciate that evolution and want to watch you and see you succeed. So as people are watching you succeed, you got to be really good at auditing yourself and really sharing that information to others. So for me on social media, I'm constantly sharing updates, photos, videos. Again, not to show off, but to keep people updated on the progress of my developments, right? So that way they can learn from my mistakes, grow with my successes, and be able to scale even beyond me in many respects and the lanes that they want to operate in, right? And so, legacy now, once you're at that point, you want to create a vision that goes beyond you, right? And the definition of legacy is the long lasting impact of particular events, actions that took place in the past or in a person's life. So, you want to have a long lasting impact so that way people can follow and engage with you beyond the rooms that you enter in, right? And so for me, I am constantly working on creating both an online and an offline footprint, right? With quotes, with content, information, right? So definitely there's multiple ways to build a legacy, but being an author is one, being known for something on your blog is another one, creating community. I've created multiple communities in my career, and I will tell you that really creates an impact, right? Engaging stakeholders, having a media strategy where you're constantly putting yourself out there to support other audiences is very, very, very powerful, right? And obviously, once you get to unique offerings, what have you created, right? What are you providing for people? And for me, I only create what is demanded. So I put myself out there and see where people need support, what challenges are people facing. And over time, you'll find that you could create offers amongst different and across multiple channels, a summit, a retreat, events, right? A program, of course, there's so many different ways to add value, right? And as you evolve and do this, you're gonna reach a point where you're gonna reach a momentum point, right? And you start to scale exponentially. And that's really, really powerful when you start to see that you're growing and scaling because more and more people are really engaged with you on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly and a quarterly and annual basis. So, at this point, you start to grow, you start to hire a team, you start to scale, everything just moves forward in alignment, right? But when you create that value, it's that value that will lead to wealth, right? And here lies your wealth creation plan because for many of you, I share with you the fundamentals of creating a personal brand of value. Let me show you the fruits of that labor, right? And that is generating wealth, a flexible lifestyle, a brand that you're proud of, right? And this is what it looks like. Because you can, at a certain point, when you create value, you can forecast profitability, right? You can be able to monetize your brand and be able to see exactly what you're doing that's going to create value. So you're not doing random things to try to optimize your personal brand. Now, I've seen people do that where they launch random things with no actual clear plan as to why they're doing it, right? So these are some notes to consider, right? And now, once you dive into your workbook, as we workshop through creating a real launch plan when it comes to really scaling your personal brand with value, right? And I share with people it's a simple formula to do this. And that formula is like this. This is a unique way to plan out the monetization of your personal brand, okay? Over the years, I have found that monetization, like people always share very generic advice about how to monetize your brand. This is the blueprint, right? No matter what people are sharing with you, people can share you a list of 1,000 different ways to make money online with your personal brand, with your expertise. No matter what it is, it falls under these 5 basic buckets, okay? Bucket number 1 is what I call crowd conversion, right? This is where you are launching an event, a conference, a retreat, and monetizing that experience with your personal brand. Bucket 2 is content sales. This is where you see people are creating digital courses, programs, and workshops. This is really valuable for when you want to scale digitally at scale, especially in today's day and age. Bucket 3 is community membership, where you created such a large community, you can monetize it organically as it is on a weekly basis, monthly basis, annual basis, right? Bucket 4 is what I call corporate revenue. This is where you get speaking engagements, institutional engagements to speak and contract based on your expertise. And the last bucket is contract requests. This is where you start to get partnership and deals and brand deals from institutional players to work with your personal brand. And those 5 buckets, when you play around with them, that's what leads to a profitable personal brand. Okay? So let me explain what that looks like. If you look at the first 3 buckets, you have a lot more control over, right? Because it's all internal and self-directed monetization, right? Crowd conversion, you can organize your own live events and conferences and retreats. I do it. And it's really, really great to do that because you're able to convert the crowd based on your own efforts, your own momentum. You have a lot more control. Same thing with content sales. You could create any digital asset and sell it. A course, a webinar, an ebook, a program, right? And you have control over the sales and process with that. And the third thing, a community membership, you can monetize all year round. And like I said, all 3 of the first 3 buckets are really self-directed monetization, right? So you don't have to worry about anything when it comes to someone else saying, hey, we're not interested in working with you, or we changed the agenda. Or, like, you literally have full autonomy and control over the first 3 buckets, which is very powerful. The last 2 buckets are really external. They're more client-directed monetization. This is where you're depending on pitching external institutional players on how to work with you. So corporate revenue, so booking, speaking engagements, and endorsement deals, right? Doing consulting and coaching services, right? It's very external dependent, right? But all 5, again, really help build a profitable brand. To give you an example of this is how my value formula, my brand, how much is my brand in 2018. If you look at the top 3 buckets I prioritized that year, 70% of my income based on my personal brand was coming through hosting events. And those of you who know me, in 2018, I was traveling a lot, going to multiple countries. I was hosting mega events. I was hosting events for 100 people. I was hosting events with 5,000 people. So the crowd conversion was very powerful. I was generating 6 figures on multiple events that year. So 70% of my personal brand monetization strategy came from crowd conversion that year. Bucket 3 is all about content sales. If you notice, it was just 20%. So I was just doubling in on selling basic fundamental course downloads. That was very helpful to my community based on what they were requesting of me. And a small percentage on corporate revenue, because at the time, I was so focused on the logistics of managing live international events that I barely had time to speak at other people's events because I was speaking at my events. I remember that year I spoke at close to like 50 something different conferences. Majority of what I was hosting. That's a lot of events to be. That's almost like close to 1 or 2 events a week, depending on some of the channels. I remember there was one tour specifically that I did where I would fly out with my team on Monday, speak at the conference we were hosting on Tuesday, fly out on Wednesday to the next country, speak on the next country on Thursday, fly out on Friday, and then take the weekend to breathe a little bit and start the project all over again on Monday. And we did that for about 3 weeks straight. So we were able to travel about 10 countries in 3 weeks doing multiple events. And again, some of these events had 100 people. Some of these events had thousands. It was really crazy. So event logistics that year was literally my go-to. Now, based on the data for last year, my value formula in terms of how I monetized my brand last year, you can see a drastic change. And I can explain what happened, because one thing I love about personal branding, when you start to monetize your brand, there's certain things that happen in your life that adjust, but it's such a sustainable way to maintain income flow no matter what's happening in your life, right? So for this year, the majority of my revenue came from content sales, which is my digital products, my digital coaching programs at 55% last year, and corporate revenue, which is virtual and paid in-person speaking engagements at 20%. And part of the reason why I decreased my bucket 1, which is crowd conversion, I wasn't hosting as many events, I wasn't doing a lot of contract offers with institutional clients, is because at the time we just had our 4th child. So I was really decompressing. I went on sabbatical and really focused on prioritizing my health and really taking care of my baby, right? And so as a result, anything that required travel or in-person activity, I really declined that year and really prioritized only the virtual things that I can control. So it made sense why this was the layout of my formula buckets for 2023, right? And you can see the visuals there of the events that I did decide to speak at in person. They were very powerful open events. I optimized my website that year so that way I could generate more sales through my digital content. It was a very unique year in general, right? And clearly, like I said, I was coming off of a pregnancy and really just taking some time to really focus on my health and focus on the baby. And I even shared that news through my newsletter, through my community, like, hey, next baby on the way, that this is what I'm doing with my time. So my audience was very clear that that year they weren't gonna see a lot of me live during that year. And obviously, through that year, I went from having one major digital product, to actually launching multiple digital programs and opportunities for my community, especially based on what they were asking me for, right? So it turned out really, really well that I was able to expand my digital product suite, but also be able to serve my audience in multiple different ways, right? And obviously, you guys know I'm a very numbers person. So I have my spreadsheets, and these are the things I was using to track, the products that was out there, what was converted, what was working, and my target goals for how much I wanted to generate for that, and the time frame for the campaign to generate interest for that. Right, all of that was structured, in the upcoming days for any product that I was launching, but also for the work that I was doing to really support people and do free sessions to really add value as well. Because at the end of the day, you still want to be able to support people who can't afford to be a part of your premium content. You're still able to impart some wisdom and value that way, right? So with that said, I turn it over to you, right? When you look at the value bucket formulas, right? What is the biggest thing that matters to you, right? What do you think is your version of monetizing your brand this year? What formula plan do you have for this year? Which bucket do you want to focus on? Or which ones do you want to mix around with to really build and grow your personal brand, right? Is it bucket 1, bucket 2, bucket 3? Send me a comment on the chat and let me know what bucket area do you want to monetize your personal brand this year, okay? And at the end of the day, planning and forecasting is so key, right? Because being able to really move ahead and really look at what you want to do with your personal brand is so, so crucial, right? And for me, when I look at, the strategies it takes to really monetize your personal brand, this is so key and instrumental that when you look at it through these buckets and through this lens, you start to realize, okay, which one it fits your personality type. Because a lot of people are not built to host events. So I will tell them to avoid doing bucket number 1, right? Also, a lot of people are not built to do community membership. So I tell them focus on maybe bucket 4, 2, or 5, right? Seeing these buckets will help you make decisions on not only finding income opportunities based on your personality, but also your schedule. I already told you my 2018 value formula was very different than my 2023, right? Completely different. So this just shows you that what happens is that it really creates sustainable offers, opportunities, and create trajectory for you no matter what happens. And I really love this a lot because in today's day and age where things are so unpredictable, it's so important that you have control over your personal brand, able to really make decisions ahead of time to forecast and plan and really show up in with your best foot forward for your audience, okay? And so as stated before, planning is key. And for me to get to this point where I'm here speaking at global stages around the world and really building my community, I have over 300,000 people in my database, specifically 289,000 in terms of my personal brand only. So I have a huge email list that I cultivated over the past 11 years. And even the first couple of years, I didn't even know the power of having an email list to convert and to monetize, but also to support along their own personal brand journeys. So for me, when I look at where I am today, I have learned so much about how to monetize my expertise. I've learned so much about how to create partnerships and content and resources and just really valuable information for others. And so as you position yourself post this series, it's really important that you really decide again on the legacy you want to build and why you want to do this, right? And so with that, today concludes the 5-day series of the Personal Brand Live Launch. Over the past 5 days, we have learned on day 1 how to position your personal brand to attract the big 3 speaking engagements, brand deals, and clients. On day 2, we talked about how to optimize your social media profile to attract, build, and scale your audience. On day 3, we talked about taking that positioning statement and really optimizing your digital presence on social media and really creating your first or your next digital product so you can start generating sales immediately. On day 4, we talked about how to officially live launch your personal brand online in this day and age and start closing customers within 24 hours or less, which is my unique secret strategy that I shared with all of you yesterday. That was really powerful. And today, I share with you exactly the structure I use to turn a personal brand into a legacy empire that provides wealth, flexibility, and success at scale. Okay? And so at this juncture, as we conclude, you got to make a decision, right? And you got to make a decision to take a leap of faith and invest in yourself with this decision, right? And for me, I am incredibly grateful that I spent 5 days with you. We spent 5 days together every day coming on live for 1 hour from 12 to 1 p.m. Some of you have been DM and emailing the account. We've been following your messages and engaging with you offline. Some of you have engaged with me for the first time. Some of you have been a part of my journey for years, right? If these past 5 days was truly insightful and powerful for you, let's continue the progress of today further and go beyond 5 days. Let's actually work together to launch your personal brand this year and make 2024 a year of transformation and true opportunity, one that you're going to be very, very proud of. And so I want to, again, invite you to join me for the Personal Brand Accelerator program where I can help you actually launch your personal brand, okay? I'm excited to do this because at the end of the day, I already shared with you guys from day 1, every single one of you, it's imperative in this digital economy, needs to position yourself for opportunity. You do not know not only what money you're leaving on the table, but probably more importantly, the career opportunity that you're leaving on the table. There's so much in store for you. And I share with you what the 4-week layout will look like, what coming on live will look like in terms of coaching experiences, like what you will come out with in terms of tangible results, and culminating with the fact that it will help you launch your personal brand this year. I share with you all the coaching and the training and the templates and the event management launch plan that you will receive automatically through the program and have access to all that for life and why we're doing that, right? And now, finally, I share with you that to the public, the price to be able to join this program is at $2,497. But because you've been a part of this program, I'm sharing with you this one-time opportunity to join at $1,497 and have access to me for over 4 weeks, coaching and support and resources, but also the ability to launch your brand live this year. Let's make the decision to make this the year that you're going to do this, right? So today is a very phenomenal opportunity. I hope you take it on because this offer to join at this rate ends tonight at 8 p.m. No excuses, right? And so I'll conclude this invitation to join me for the Personal Brand Accelerator program with some frequently asked questions because many of you have already joined. Thank you so much for joining the program. It's truly an honor to welcome you guys to the program, right? And for many of you, you guys have really bombarded our team with questions and advice and excitement about the program. So I'm going to share with you some of the top questions we received over the past couple of days to help you guys make a final decision on this for those of you who have not joined the program yet. Okay. First question that we're getting a lot, is it a recorded course? No, it's a live 4-week program. The same way that I came at you live during the past 5 days, I'm going to come live for the next couple of weeks. It's all recorded. And you will have access to the recordings and materials for life, but you're going to get to engage with me live. So, and I'm teaching you in an intimate setting. Some questions someone asks, is this a course? Not really. It's a live digital coaching program. It goes beyond a course. Okay. And again, recordings will become a course after you do the program. For sure, you can have access to recordings, but I'm coming in live. So it's a digital coaching program. Some of you asked about the dates. It's between August 1st and 31st. And the session times will be Tuesdays and Thursdays from 12 to 2 p.m. Okay. With optional sessions on Saturdays. Some of you ask, okay, what's the format of the sessions? There'll be live training and coaching where I will train you and be coaching you through your personal brand messaging and execution for an hour and a half for twice a week. But also we'll be doing Q&A and implementation. Some days we'll be working on implementing your bio, implementing your website. All those different implementation workshops happen live on the call together, right? For those of you who pay in full, you will be able to have private consulting sessions with me where you have one-on-ones where I could be able to guide you and mentor you towards really executing a personal brand live launch that's not only powerful, but also sustainable, right? And of course, the prices, you are aware, that's $2,497 per member. And as participants of this program, you get the discount to $1,497, right? Some of you have also asked if there's a payment plan. Yes, there is a payment plan. Email that team at hello@christineandtim.com to get access to that information, right? But of course, it will not include some of the bonuses. Only the paying full members will be able to get access to some of the major bonuses, which includes me having a private one-on-one consulting session with them. Now, of course, what happens after the program? We help you launch, right? You will have access for 6 months to live monthly mastermind and coaching follow-up sessions with me so I can make sure that you're on track. So I don't just I'm done with you after 4 weeks and then say bye-bye. I will continue the work of engagement with you. Last but not least, the deadline to book to join at the rate that we're offering this group is July 19th, which is today at 8 p.m. for the exclusive offer opportunity. Okay, so this is obviously really, really great, right? Some of you are asking, do you offer scholarships? Absolutely not, right? Because this is a very intensive 4 weeks, right? I am putting a lot of time and energy into that. And keep in mind, someone also asked, when will be the next one? The next one will be in 2025. Because this is a live multi-week training program, I do not do this multiple times a year. I only do it once live. So this program starts in August, which is in the next couple of days. I'm only doing it once. Okay. So if you miss the window to be able to do this, I will not be able to support you to launch your personal brand if that is your interest to do so and your sentiment to do so until 2025. Okay. So this is a now decision. If you want to make the most of this year and really move forward, this is the best time to do this. Okay. Now, with that said, this is your final opportunity to really dive in. Definitely give me a comment or DM if you have more questions about the program. The team can be reached at hello@christineandtim.com. But I'm so looking forward to welcoming more of you for the program because it's a very, very intensive 4 weeks, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to be with you live workshopping you. We use Google Docs and spreadsheets where we're all working on it live during the calls, right? I do not play. And many of you, if you've been a part of any of my previous sessions, you know that I'm very hands-on and very, very detailed with my advice, my perspective, but also I audit your profile, go through your personal brand, and we really cultivate a customized personal brand strategy. And we start executing on that strategy during the live sessions. This is probably a big one that you probably don't understand. I'm not just teaching you so you can know what to do. I'm teaching you so you could actually do it, right? And I'm going to do it with you. That's the reason why this is a live 4-week program. It's not a digital course recording. It's a live where we're going to walk you through that entire process together to make sure that you're walking out with powerful outcomes where you're going to be even emotional to see how your personal brand not only evolved and strengthened through the program, but also starting to generate yourself revenue immediately because of what you're learning in the program by working directly with me over the course of several weeks. Okay. So truly a powerful opportunity for you to join and be a part of this, right? And so with that said, as I work on concluding and transitioning to Q&A, I do like to share that, the Personal Brand Live launch was here to really give you the fundamentals to do three things. One, make you hyper aware, hyper aware of the importance of building and scaling your personal brand now. Okay. There's no better time like the present. We are living in very, very, very unique times right now, economically speaking, socially, politically, right? Geopolitically as well, right? You do not want to be dependent on whatever you have going on for you right now, whether it's just one business, whether it's one job, whether it's one project. You do not want to just put in all of your time and energy on just that one thing. You want to be able to diversify your opportunities, diversify your revenue streams, diversify just opportunities that could come your way. And the best way to do that is through monetizing your expertise and cultivating a strong personal brand, right? So the first thing is to make you hyper aware of the importance of building, scaling, and monetizing your personal brand. That is one. The second reason why I launched a personal brand live launch is because I wanted to share with you the secret. I think, again, I get so annoyed, and I've said this before and I'll repeat it again. I am tired of the generic advice on the internet regarding personal branding. Advice right now is so generic that I find that people just like now, when they hear personal branding, they don't even take it at full value because they don't understand what to do, right? Everyone knows it's extremely important. But what happens is people wait until they have like a major milestone, like maybe when they first get into media, maybe when they launch your website, maybe when they get to a certain stage in their career. People wait too long to start really positioning their personal brand. I don't want that to happen to you, right? The best time is the present. Move forward and get yourself out there as soon as possible. And for those of you who are saying like, oh, point number 3, why I did this, I'm already out there. I'm already doing content. I'm already generating engagements. I'm already getting partnerships, but I'm not getting paid for it. I'm not getting resources. I'm not getting this because you're not doing it the right way, right? You're not supposed to be doing content randomly to the point that you burn out. If anything, it might be hurting your brand than helping you, right? Over the past 5 days, I share with you strategically how to be purposeful in your content, be purposeful in your action steps, be purposeful in the resources and content that you provide to audiences. It's really, really important that you're not just burning out at each end and just doing things because you heard that there's a checklist of things that you need to be doing to be relevant. I've been on a sabbatical for over 6 months last year, and I can't tell you how my personal brand not only continued to generate income for me while I was offline, but I was still getting offers. I was still getting deals. I was still getting partnerships. I was still getting speaking engagements. I was still getting outreach. And I told everyone, my team just let them know I'm offline. And when I came back, it's almost like I didn't lose out on anything, right? That's the power of a strong personal brand where you're able to pick up where you left off, even if you tap out, right? That's a really powerful experience to have and something that many of you're sitting on a major opportunity to do that, right? So don't do that to yourself where you just cancel yourself out without doing that. Another thing I want to share with you, right? And reflecting on the past 5 days, right? Day one, when I talked to you about positioning, right? Positioning is something that's so crucial. I don't want you, if there's one thing I want you to remember after today, don't you ever walk into a room. Let's say there's a networking session, you have to introduce yourself and introduce yourself with your name and say that my name is so-and-so, I'm the founder of XYZ. Do not do that. Introduce yourself with purpose, put your head up and introduce yourself with actual value. Hi, my name is Christina Tim, and I help entrepreneurs monetize their personal brands online so they could build flexible and fulfilled lifestyles. That's a lot better than me saying that I'm Christina Tim, the founder of the Global Startup Ecosystem, right? The first one resonated with you. The first one is telling you, I'm here to serve. And more importantly, if you need what I offer, let's collaborate. Let's have a conversation. It incites a conversation. You're not regurgitating your resume. Stop regurgitating your resume. Stop just saying things online just to build clout. Doesn't matter, right? Your follower count doesn't matter. The clout and messages doesn't matter. Like, what matters is how people feel when they engage with you, how people feel when they see you. That's what matters. And to be honest with you, the last thing I will say is, because I know there's a lot of people who are frustrated, I share with you a lot of shortcuts, right? And I know, because we live in a society where everyone's trying to find a hack, a trend, because we're all so short-minded, right? If you're putting yourself out there and you know that you're putting your best foot out there and you're doing your best to create value, and you feel like you're watching your peers get the speaking engagements, get the brand deals, get the promotions, get the opportunities faster than you, and you're getting frustrated, don't be, okay? Even if it's taking more time for you to get to the finish line, I guarantee if you are building your value, building your personal brand with purpose and integrity, I promise you, everyone who was flying in front of you in the beginning, they're not going to last farther than you. You're going to get to the finish line, and you're going to get to the finish line the correct way. You're going to get to the finish line the ethical way, and you're going to be proud of the person you become of that, right? You're going to be incredibly proud of who you become at the finish line. So I'm saying this to encourage you that you're not trying to become a celebrity, right? Stop looking for the bad, vain goals. Think about what you want to build, what you want to do, right? And I wish you the very best of luck on your journey to building your personal brand and building a legacy of real powerful impact. I look forward to hearing from you, getting updates, and really seeing you soar after today. And of course, definitely stay in touch. I would love to have you guys join me for the Personal Brand Accelerator after today. If you want to really accelerate your growth and have me support you, let me team up with you and do that. But ultimately, if there's anything that I did this week, I hope that I inspired you to show up and give your best self, because the world needs more people like you. And I cannot wait to see you take your level, take your brand, take your expertise, take your life experiences to the next level, and give that as a gift to others so you can help others soar alongside you. Thank you so much. It was truly a pleasure and an honor. I look forward to seeing you guys next time. And thank you so much for taking the time to be with me for the live Personal Brand and Live Launch 2024 edition. You officially have concluded, and look forward to seeing you and keeping in touch. Bye-bye, everyone. The Personal Brand Accelerator program. We're going to talk about really the who, what, when, where, how of personal branding. Personal branding in many ways is an ongoing process, right? Because you are practicing, you're developing, you're manifesting yourself over time as you grow and develop as a person within your career. Today, we're transitioning from the personal branding fundamentals to now building your personal branding foundation, right? You can't position yourself for opportunity unless you understand your motivations and what is your capacity. Now, at the very beginning, you should always be experimenting with your brand and engaging with the world, just try to find out, okay, what experiments do you need to run to see where you need to be. There are a million different ways to make money with your personal brand, but you either got to do what is your biggest strength right now, right? Or you do where the most resources are available. A lot of people, when they're trying to monetize their personal brand, they focus on bucket 4 and 5. right? Where they're working with people to get speaking engagements, contracts. You're doing a lot of external activities to get that clout from the community to pay you for certain works. A lot of times people confuse marketing and sales to be the same thing, right? This is the reason why a lot of people, they have a personal brand. Let's say they got as far as they create a free or paid product like a course or a retreat or a session, and they're putting it out there. They're quote unquote marketing it. They're promoting it. They're blasting it, but they're not monetizing. They're not making money. And part of the reason why is because they did not combine their marketing strategy with their sales strategy. But I could give you all the systems all day long, but it's up to you to turn it into a routine. And that does require checklists. It does require you really having the discipline to execute on that routine. So much has happened over the past couple of weeks. You have learned so much from start to finish. The best way I could end this is by saying that, look, like, a lot of people wait their entire life to try to figure this out. You have the unique opportunity where you have this content for life, right? You have this journey for life where you are now given a blueprint to constantly keep upping your brand, keep accelerating your career, keep creating value, and also creating multiple streams of income for yourself in addition to any of the fundamental work that you do.